I do digital art as one of the many creative outlets that I have. And with digital art, there's a few different ways that you could input your digital art into your devices. Now, when I went to college, one of the things in the digital art class that I took training us to draw on was a bamboo or Wacom tablet. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that's okay. Basically, it had a stylus and you could draw on it, but it wasn't a tablet like an iPad is a tablet. It was shaped similar to this, but it didn't have a screen. It just had a digitizer that allowed the pen to communicate through that, much like a mouse, into your computer and allow you to draw. Now, the drawbacks of these was the fact that you couldn't actually see what you were drawing unless you were looking at the monitor. And if you were looking at the monitor, you weren't looking at your hand where it's going. So it took a whole different skill from drawing by hand. If you knew how to draw by hand, you kind of had to like relearn much the same way you would if you were drawing using a mouse on the computer, which wasn't great, especially if you're somebody who's traditionally trained or traditionally practiced in art. Enter things like iPads and other tablets, the Apple Pencil, allowing you to actually look at what you're drawing and see it show up right there. And if you have your settings right and you have a good device, then you won't see too much lag. And these days, you can get the best of both worlds, where I use something as simple as Sidecar on the Mac to turn my iPad into a second monitor. You can then use the touch input on there. So I can use full desktop applications to draw on my iPad, which is amazing. It's fantastic. For example, Clip Studio Paint, a great comics and illustration software, you can get it on the iPad, but you have to pay a monthly fee, whereas you can buy it outright for a very reasonable price, and it frequently goes on sale for your Mac or your Windows PC. And I can say for a fact, you can do the same thing with an iPad on a Windows PC. So maybe you like an iPad, but you're not a Mac person. You can literally use applications to turn this into a second monitor or canvas for your PC and use Clip Studio Paint or other softwares through that. So it's fantastic. A great software for that is called EasyCanvas, which I've used in the past. They've changed it to a new 2025 version, but I've had good experiences with the other ones in the past. So for art, fantastic.